Damien Barrett and welcome to the 2016 wash-up for the West Coast Eagles for the second year in a row. The way the Eagles have finished the season will leave a really sour taste in their mouths. Matthew Lloyd.
After losing the grand final, Damo, in 2015, a lot thought, including me, that they'd be premiership favourites, could go on and take the next step. But that failure against the Western Bulldogs in the finals, I think it's a worse loss than the Hawks won in the grand final.
You can live with one loss, can't you?
Yeah.
If you provided you overcome it. But when they go back to back with bad losses, as was the Hawthorn grand final and now the Western Bulldogs elimination final, that makes it a long summer, doesn't it?
That's right, and there's a long wait to get back to September again next year. And when we do come around to that, and if they're good enough to make the finals, if you're an opposition club playing them, you just say, hey, if we can hit them hard enough early, there's a real weakness. They've got a soft underbelly, the West Coast Eagles, and that's not what you want to be labelled as a football team.
We'll delve into some specifics in the next few moments, but is their talent, is their list actually overrated?
Well, I think losing Naitanui was just absolutely huge, and I'll touch on that a bit further later. But with him in, there's a different dynamic on their team, but unfortunately, they're not going to have him for most of next year either. So I think their top-end players are really strong, but I think they just fall away at the bottom end.
They said to meander their way through the home and away season. I say meander because it really hit a high point late in the piece. Really good wins against GWS, Hawthorn and Adelaide, and it was sparked by the man who ended up going down. It conjured a miraculous win. In fact, the best win, arguably, certainly of Adam Simpson's time. He said that post-match, and you can see the celebrations on the players at the moment it happened, and in the normally reserved, and the man who doesn't like letting the public in to see that style of him, Adam Simpson. But to me, that was a really significant highlight. Also, too, the round 23 game against Adelaide went through the finals order out when they beat them.
Yeah, that's why they'd be so bitterly disappointed. They know they're better than what they produced in that first final, but history will show they choked there.
Your highlight, Lordo?
My highlight there is the two bookends, Josh Kennedy and Jeremy McGovern. Just some mixed highlights here of those two. Just for both of them to be All-Australian would suggest that they'll play in a grand final, but unfortunately they both didn't perform at their best in the finals either. McGovern got stopped by Cordy, another great move by Luke Beveridge, and Josh Kennedy kicked a couple. Lacked supply, but their home and away form was first class.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did go missing in the finals, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Kennedy, so in the final. Hey, the low light for me, Lord, I thought their logic in adding bigger names, or relatively big names, to their list after the grand final last year was good, but it didn't work, did it? Jetta just got dropped 3 times, and Redden just couldn't get a crack at it. And ultimately, Jetta was injured for the final, Redden couldn't get a look in, and that pretty much summed up the impact they had on the year. Yeah,
Jetta was bitterly disappointing and got hurt late in the year, and Redden just looks a bit slow on that big ground at Subiaco. And mine's Nick Naitanui. It derailed their season. To do his knee in round 22. Well, I think they were ranked 1 for hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage. Then he missed 6 weeks with another injury. They went to 18th. He come back in. Their form improved. And he goes back out again, and they lose that first final. And to not have him pretty much till late next season as well is really going to hurt the West Coast Eagles.
And we'll talk about that impact in a moment too. Time to mark them out of 10. I'll go first. Lord, I'm only giving them a 5. Coming off the grand final loss of last year and then dishing up that performance in elimination final, albeit without Naitanui, I just don't think they can get more than a just a pass mark.
Yeah, I'm a 5 as well, Damo, because I don't think they had the manic pressure and defence across the ground. They didn't want it as badly this year as they did last year.
Okay, every club has to give a little bit extra in the pay packets. I'm thinking the Eagles should give their little bit extra to Andrew Gaff, who I thought was really good all season, was crucial in that late stretch of home and away matches when they came hard into the finals, and I just like what he did, Lord. I thought he was either their best or second best player in the elimination final loss too.
He's a super consistent player, Gaff. You'd love to have him on your side, and he suits that ground down to a T. He was brilliant late in the year as well, and my Christmas bonus is my man, Damo. Tom Barrass, my man. I've claimed him. He was in this game against the Crows. He announced himself. He took 9 marks. He and McGovern just complement each other so much. I thought he was their best defender in that losing final to the Western Bulldogs as well.
You haven't given him this award, have you, or this bonus, because of him saying recently that you were his childhood idol?
It does have a little bit to do with it, Dame, I'll have to admit.
At least you're honest. Okay, he's got the extra. Time to chop a few, actually, Lordo, as we do in the chopping block section of these wash-ups. And I just think it's time for Eric McKenzie to look for a new home. 2014 Best and Fairest winner, missed 2015 with a knee and just hasn't been able to get a look in this year. Good player, good guy. Clubs are interested. I think it's time for him. I think it's time for the club to apart. Andrew Gaff, we just wrapped him up. We're now going to give him a little bit of a clip here, because you can't treat your Brownlow medalist like this, Lordo.
Oh, come on. He should have actually tried it on like Eddie Betts or something like that. Try and put him out of the game, but not your superstar, Priddis. And Priddis wasn't himself in the first final. Maybe
because of that, you reckon? From round 23, he might have been, actually. Hey, yeah, they're going to have to do a few things to improve. They really fell away in that final against the Bulldogs. And to me, they're going to have to now get busy in the off-season trade period. And Rory Lobb, who has made it known to them, the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle, that he's gettable despite being contracted to GWS next year. I just think with Nat Nui out for effectively the entirety of 2017, they just have to make him a target.
That is a great call. I agree 100% with that. Mine's a bit quirky. I think they need a hypnotist. They need a hypnotist for the MCG to try and win there, and they need one for finals, big finals football. I know Adam Simpson wouldn't like that one, but I think that's what they need, because they cannot win the big moments.
I like it. Outside the square thinking. Not time now for you, Lordo, to go first on where you think they'll be in 2017.
Well, I've said stagnate, Damo. I've said they'll stagnate, and that's a big call, because they should be better than that, and they should win a final next year, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm only doing the same thing too. I think stagnating. Look, it could be elimination final again, but not much more, and it wouldn't totally surprise me if it goes really badly that they're only just thereabouts. So. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Dano.
And that was the wash-up for West Coast Eagles in 2016.